Hi all, welcome to the third or the fourth Flip the Classroom I'm doing about digestion. Today we're focusing on section 1.4. Last time we already spoke about mechanical and chemical digestion and about this Prezi which I'm showing to you. Now we're continuing and now we're going to talk about the organs involved by digesting. It is actually all jot down in your book, 1.4, which I have beside me. And we're going to talk about the esophagus, the stomach, the duodenum, the small intestine, and the large intestine. I hope we're going to make it, and it's going to be interesting and so on. So, this chapter, here it is. We already saw the digestion of carbohydrates by amylase in your mouth, and that's the start of the chemical digestion. Mechanical digestion is you chewing your food.
What are the differences between mechanical?
We already watched this movie, so now we go into the esophagus. It says transport food towards your stomach. Chemical digestion of carbohydrate continues. So the enzyme amylase is a scissor which cuts through the amylose, which cuts through the starch and makes it into glucose. Well, this continues while you swallow your food, because you swallow your food, including your saliva, and it goes through the esophagus. In the wall of the esophagus, there's muscles, and those muscles that push the food further into the stomach. And these muscle pushings are called peristalsis. So the movement of muscles, peristalsis. You see that I wrote down esophagus with an E, and in your book it is with OE. That's because the esophagus has really different kinds of names. It's called esophagus, esophagus, gullet, and gut. It's a bit confusing sometimes, but it all means tube which leads to the stomach. Inside the stomach, there is the food temporarily stored, and inside the stomach there is also the digestion of proteins. Proteins are in meat, are in eggs, of course, and in milk, and it's a building block for your body. Proteins are digested by protease. Protease is the enzyme which cuts down in a scissor way the large proteins into amino acids, and this happens inside your stomach. So the stomach wall, it makes enzymes which break down proteins. The stomach itself contains hydrochloric acid, and acid is sour. Why is that so? Well, the hydrochloric acid is there to kill the bacteria. It's also there to enhance the speed in which enzymes work, because enzymes work best in an acidic environment. And that's because of the pH scale. Maybe you ever heard of it, pH scale. The pH scale is a scale from 0 to 14, where 7 is considered neutral. A pH of 7 is the acidity of water, and which is neutral. 14, you have to think about ammonium or soaps. Have you ever had soap in your mouth? It tastes bitter and bubbly, and it's very soft to touch, but it tastes awful. And if you go to the other side, the acids, for example, Coca-Cola is an acid. Lime juice is acid, and also the juice inside your stomach is an acid. So the scale of pH goes from 0 to 14, where 7 is neutral, and if the acidity is high, which means the pH number is low, then it's so sour that bacteria will die and enzymes work very well. That's why it also helps when you have burning juices in your stomach, that you drink some Coca-Cola, because Coca-Cola has an acidity of approximately 2.8. so it helps to restore the balance in your stomach. Okay, so now on, amylose is already digested by amylase in the mouth, and proteins are already digested by protease. So now the food continues, and it continues to the small intestines. Blah blah blah. The small intestines, I said. Yes. And the small intestines, there are a lot of cool YouTube movies about, and I will post them in the description of this one. And in the small intestine, the digestion of fat happens, proteins, and of carbohydrates. So actually every nutrient which is in your food is digested in the small intestines. And also in the small intestines there is the absorption of the nutrients, because you eat, so you have nutrients in your body, so they can be useful in your body as energy deliverers, or as protectors, or as building blocks. Okay, so when chemical digestion occurs together with mechanical digestion, well, the nutrients become so small they can enter your blood vessels, and if they do, they can go to the liver, your heart, your brains, your muscles, to deliver those nutrients.
Testing. So it's this little bit.
So the next station is your large intestines, and your large intestines do not really digest it, but they take out the last water which is in it. If there's too much water in the substance you ate, you get diarrhea. So the water needs to be taken out. The fibers you ate are tickling the walls of the intestines here. So they work harder and they perform better. So they take out a lot of water. So if you eat a lot of fibers, then number 2 on the toilet will be the best one ever. So eat a lot of fibers. When there is enough feces stored in the rectum, there's the phase of the elimination of waste, and you go to the toilet and do number 2. Have you any idea where I am right now? Because I'm standing up, and do you recognize this room? Maybe you can see it in behind of me. Here it goes. So this is important for the Kahoot, of course. And I hope you recognize. You see we have bees over there. Can you see them? So maybe you have an idea of where I am. Well, I'm gonna post the rest of the movies I showed in the Prezi also in the description. I hope you learned a lot, and I'd like to see you soon in lesson. Bye bye.